Hello, and in this presentation, I want to share with you an overview of how you need to cite your research and your photographs in your PowerPoint presentations. I'm expecting you to include this information in your presentations for your 4790 presentation. So your research on your content pages, as well as any photos, should be cited. A style guide is a compilation of how we present our brand to the public. So organizations will have a style guide that outlines many different ways. Some things such as what font they use on their website or in any kind of public information outreach, or maybe their colors in their logo, or maybe how they cite information, or how the review process for approval before dissemination happens. That's what a style guide's all about. An organization may have one, may not have one, but it's always good to have consistency in brand look and feel so that people can recognize the organization by a consistent use of outreach processes. I want to remind you that plagiarism is very important to protect yourself against. We stand on the shoulders of giants. There are many people before us who have contributed to the evidence base. Let us give them credit. So whether or not it's a paper or a presentation, plagiarism can occur. And we want to treat our PowerPoints just like any research paper and provide adequate citation to assure that we CYA. I guess it would be CMA, cover my butt, right? So if you have direct quotations, if you have distilled the science and the evidence base into your own words, if you have any tables or data, if you have any video or audio files or images, they must be provided, that you must provide the citations. You must share with us where you got your information, just like you would in a paper. So let's talk about where you add your citations and what my expectations are for your PowerPoint presentation. Unfortunately, there are no APA guidelines specifically for PowerPoint presentations, and that's why in real life you'd want to ask your boss about their style guide and what their recommendations or their requirements are for citing resources for presentations. And if not, I'm going to share with you best practices here that you can always use and include if your organization does not have a style guide. For your assignment, for your presentation for 4790, if you have data, which you will, because remember, you're going to have content, and your content's going to include facts and feelings. So for your facts, what I want you to do is just like you would in a paper, provide the primary researcher's last name and the date of where the publication came from. So if you paraphrase words or ideas from a peer-reviewed journal article, you need to cite it with their first name and the date of the article. The reason is in a presentation, people will only they can't jot down the full citation. You're going too quickly, and so they just need a bit of resource so that they can go find it themselves. So what'll happen is when people are listening to your presentation and want to go read the article, they know Johnson, the name and the date, and then they know the topic, they can go to PubMed, they can go to Google Scholar, and they can find it. Good? If you insert tables or data, you must have the full APA citation demonstrating the journal it was published in, the edition, the pages, you must have a full citation. So if you are including any data, any charts that you are getting from another area, you must have the full citation. And then the website, again, what I recommend is the URL, the date, the name of the organization that's providing the information. And you might want to collapse it into a tiny URL. That's up to you. There are apps that'll do that for you, and that's up to you, just so that you don't have a URL that stretches like 17 lines. And then if you have an image or a video, we want the source and the date if possible. We want to be able to list where the images and videos have come from. And then finally, if you're using clip art, those are those comic clip arts. They're kind of comedic. They're not images, so to speak. Clip art, unfortunately, does not require, not unfortunately, fortunately doesn't require. That's why a lot of people use it, is because it doesn't require citations. Okay, so you will refer back to this page often as you are building your slide deck to demonstrate this is our style guide for our class. And again, your organization, when you land your first job, should have a style guide. If not, you might want to create one that you consistently use on your own. Here's an example of how we used resources and citations. The first one is from the United States Department of Education. It was from 2003. At least I'm demonstrating where I got this information. I'm demonstrating where the information came from, who compiled the data, and I might have translated this into my own words. Therefore, I don't need a direct citation, but this is where I got the information about literacy and the date that this information was gathered. And then the second one about health literacy research, I got this from a journal article, and you can see that it's Williams 2015. Okay, so people know that the author's last name is Williams. It was from 2015. It would be nice to put the journal article, but it just depends if you, I mean, that's not APA required format. So I'm trying to follow a guidance from a well-sourced place. So this is in APA format. So again, if you want, you might want to have for your presentation a separate handout that cites all of the resources in APA format. It could be a handout you put in a that you hand out at the registration table, or that's in a packet. In case you want to do that, you might want to have that as a separate handout. Remember, this will not go on the last page of your presentation. So if you want to provide your resources, you're going to need to do it as a separate handout. Again, here are more examples. You can see I have posted a website if you want to add that. Again, Institutes of Medicine, I'm adding that, plus the dates of where this information came from. So you're getting a understanding of, in your content, I am going to need citations because we don't want to plagiarize. Here is a example of data. Okay, this is taken from a report from the World Health Organization. This is considered a chart or graph, and so you can see how I have the specific and full citation available. Because I did not translate this, I took this exactly as is, and so therefore I want to do a full citation. There was no translation of the information by my part where people can then go back to the original research. I just completely took the whole thing.